In order to find the mass of the load to maintain the balance on the platform is scale that consists of a combination of third and first class levers, so that the load on one lever became the effort that moved the next lever. Using this arrangement, a small weight can balance a massive object. Now, if the value of X is 450 millimeters and the counterweight S is of 2 kilograms, we need to identify the load L so that the balance will be maintained. To solve this problem, we can start by looking at the individual members and develop their free body diagram to figure out the load in each one of the members and eventually figure out what's the maximum load it can support. So, starting with our segment AB, and let's go ahead and develop our free body diagram. Now for the member AB, I have a pin support at point A, so it will have two support reactions, one along the horizontal direction given as AX and one along the vertical given as AY, since the motion is restricted along horizontal and vertical directions. Next, in 150 millimeters from point A, I have this mass ml that is balancing. So the value of it can be represented by ml times g, that is our acceleration due to the gravity, to convert the mass into the force. And finally, at point B, since it is pin connected and our member BG is a two force member, so the force will be acting along the axis of the member. In this case, I'm selecting it going vertically upward. So once we have developed our free body diagram, we can go ahead and start applying our equilibrium equations to figure out the value of FBG. In this case, I'm going with summation of moment at point A, as it will eliminate my AX and AY. So to start, I have our mass ml times 9.81 going vertically downward with a moment arm of 0.15, that is going to create our clockwise moment, whereas the force FBG is going to create our counterclockwise moment with a moment arm of zero point 0.5. So adding them up together, their sum should be equals to 0. Simplifying, we get our value of FBG as 2.943 ml. Now, once we have the force FBG, let's go ahead and draw it on our image as well, so that we know how this force is going to affect the whole assembly here. Now, since I have FBG as a positive number, meaning that the direction I have picked in my free body diagram, that is the correct direction. So let's go ahead and now develop our free body diagram of segment EFG and see the effect of the force coming from member BG on the member ED, because that is basically connected to our load S here. So let's develop our free body diagram. Now for the free body diagram, we have to list down all the forces as well as the key dimensions so that we can utilize them to calculate our moment here. So we have a distance from point E to F as 0.25 meters, whereas the distance from F to G is 0.15. Now at point G, since our force was in the upward direction, but with reference to our segment EFG, it will be going into the downward direction, because these two forces should cancel out one another once these two members are connected. That's why I have the direction going downwards, and the magnitude is the same of 2.943 ml. Next, we have our FH member, that is again a two force member, so the force is shown there. Similarly, ED is also a two force member. It is represented as our value of FED. Now we are mainly interested in FED because that is linked to our counterweight S. So let's go ahead and apply our equilibrium equation at point F. That will eliminate our force in the member FH, and we will have a relationship of FED with respect to the mass of the load here. Now, in this case, the force FED is creating our counterclockwise moment. That's why it is positive, whereas the load 2.943 ml is creating our clockwise moment. That's why it is negative. Simplifying, we get our value of FED as 2.943 times 0.15 ml divided by 0.25, and if we simplify, we get our value of FET as 1.7658 times the mass of the load here. Now, since we are getting a positive number, it means that the direction which we have picked in our free body diagram, it is the correct direction. So let's go ahead and draw that on the image as well. So we know when we are drawing the subsequent free body diagram of member CDS, what should be the direction of the force coming from member ED. So that will be our final free body diagram because that is linked with the counter load S there. So let's go ahead and develop that. Now here in this case, point C is a pin support. So again, I will have two support reactions, CX and CY, whereas our ED, the force will be going in the upward direction because recall that these are the internal loads and they should cancel one another out. Since it was pointing downward from E to D, therefore it should be going in the upward direction to cancel out that effect. So that's why it is pointed upward and have a distance of zero point 0.1 meter from point C. Finally, at point S, we have a counterweight of 2 kilograms. We need to convert it into force, so multiplying it with 9.81. Now, next, we have the value of X as 450 millimeters. We can utilize to identify the distance between point S to our point C. So we can utilize while we are developing our moment expression. So once our free body diagram is done, let's go ahead and apply our equilibrium condition of moment. In this case, again, we should pick a point that will eliminate most number of unknowns. So at point C, I have two forces Cx and Cy. So I'm going to go ahead and apply summation of moment at point C equals to 0. That will eliminate my Cx and Cy. Now the force at point D is pointed in the upward direction and have a moment arm of zero point 0.1, and it is creating our counterclockwise moment. That's why it is taken as positive, whereas the load at point S is going to create our clockwise moment. That's why it is taken as negative. Now, in this expression, we have just one unknown, that is the mass of the load ml. So, simplifying and moving the terms around, we get the value of mass as 105.56 kg.